Alright folks, hello and welcome back to Downstage Gaming. I'm your host Josh, and this is part 13 of our Let's Play of Head as Code. And it's time that we make sense of all this fuckery. If you missed out last time, we didn't go on our secret journey with A, and so instead, as a repercussion of that, Jasmine went kind of insane and killed H, the sort of more energetic, attitude-y twin, and also killed Agnos. And so we knocked Jasmine out, and now we're trying to take her to the infirmary room. And we're gonna make sense of all this fuckery. I felt like Ray swearing so much. We all came back from our stations except for the twins. Marco, Ray, Jasmine, A, E, and myself were there. Wait, fuck. E was there. I completely forgot about her. I mentioned this at the end of last time. I slipped my face. We just left her. Dead bodies. Shit! In the moment, I didn't realize I left her there since she was so quiet. How can you forget about her, Simon? She's a human being. I'd go back for her later, I thought. She'll be fine. Whatever. Right now, let's just focus on this. I'm not seeing Marco or Ray anywhere at the moment. It's so weird. They're not on any of these stations either. It's like they just vanished. The twins weren't in the lounge. Marco and Ray were there. Then, when I came back upstairs, my memory's kind of fuzzy about it. Were the twins there? Because there was also, even before this, there's that moment where initially just Simon and Jasmine come back up, and that's when Jasmine is kind of like weirdly hitting on him, while at the same time being very pushy about like, hey, like we shouldn't trust anyone else. There's that moment where Simon says something like, it feels weird, like it feels like there should be other people here, but they're not. I remember that standing out to me. Were the twins there? I don't know. Gah! I ruffled my hair rapidly, making a mess of it. Jasmine's gonna hate it. The more I thought about Marco and Ray, the harder my head hurt. It was like reality didn't want me to think about it. Did I mistakenly see them? Was I hallucinating? Were my eyes playing tricks on me? I shook my head to clear it all up. Thankfully, the train stopped at the station I wanted to go to. It had stopped a few times prior, but I didn't pay any attention to those, only mentally counted them. I grabbed Jasmine again and quickly hoisted her up over my shoulder. You must have really knocked her out good, because I feel like she's been out for quite a while here. Ugh! I had to get used to this, especially if I needed to carry her upstairs. I needed to be quick before the train departed again. Finally, I was on the station. Didn't take too long before heading to the lobby. And then, right up the stairs. One step at a time, I ascended with great effort, but I managed. Panting on the halfway mark. I mean, listen, I kind of make fun of him for this, but I probably couldn't lift a human being without being pretty tired out. Panting on the halfway mark, I remained there for several moments before resuming my trek. They use the word trek a lot in this. I only notice it just because it always stands out to me as like a little odd of a choice. I mean, it makes perfect sense. They just use the phrase trek a lot. Finally, I was at the top. Quickly spied a bed in which I deposited her with all the care in the world. Ugh, this would have been easier with someone else, but that would be kind of hard right now. Ray, lend me a hand. Our entire group is somewhat dysfunctional. What a mess. I repeated the words I'd said before taking the train. For some reason, it helped me cope with it. Okay, what now? Did I miss something there? It looked like... No, okay. Whatever. I got rid of the knife, so I was safe. I wanted answers, but I also wanted her to be alright first, so I could even get those answers. I went to the sink. Have we, like, restrained her yet? Because we should really, like, make sure that she can't just, like, leave. With some paper towels in hand, I wet a lot and folded it to put on her forehead. At least this would alleviate the pain I caused her by knocking her out. Nothing to do then but wait. No, but seriously, did we, like, handcuff her or something? Because this seems like this could be quickly bad. After a while, I remembered what Smiley said, and I quickly fixed my predicament. I attached a post-it note from one of the stacks I found in the infirmary to the door frames at the bottom. One of them was the indication to yell if they would go up, as this place was occupied by two already. That's smart thinking. At least this will prevent some kind of shitty tragedy. Some kind of shitty pizza delivery tragedy. While I'd been waiting, I investigated the area, but I found nothing of use. Jasmine was taking a long time to come back to her senses. I really walloped her, so I decided to examine her again. I took her temperature, but everything seemed normal. It was when I pulled my hand away that I noticed something weird. First of all, it was important to establish the fact Jasmine dyed her hair. Okay, it was not actually naturally pink, sure. In a non-anime world, that would need to be the case. Her eyebrows were her real hair color, brown. I don't think I ever noticed that. I want to look at a picture of Jasmine now. Normally, she puts stars in it, too, just to look cute. Kawaii. Or maybe that was a habit she had when she'd been younger and she no longer had it. Whatever. What I was seeing didn't make sense. I noticed her hair could sort of fall. With a hand, I curiously reached to the scalp and pulled. Wait, what is this? I could remove her hair? Oh, I don't like any part of this. Underneath was more hair. Did she switch to wearing a wig instead of dyeing it? What was the point of this? This doesn't make sense. Did you try dyeing your hair another color? What happened after I left you to attend the University of Montreal? Fucking knew I should have stayed. Squeezed my hands and fists, angry at the world. I was also angry at myself. Underneath her pink wig, her hair was blonde colored. It wasn't brown, it wasn't pink, it was blonde. The strands couldn't lie. They never do. They never do. What the fuck happened to you, Jasmine? I mean, like, immediately my mind is whirling with possibilities, right? Like, this is a robot? Was one of the first things that came to mind. Like, this is just a general imposter. But, like, what would be the point of that? It seems like the only point of that, at least from what we know right now, would be to just screw with Simon. But we know that Jasmine has relationships with other people here, like at least Ray, and obviously Marco, although that, You dyed your hair blonde? That question, much like the previous one, was rhetorical. I had no real way of telling what happened to her. Since she was knocked unconscious, she had no way of answering me. Something was definitely wrong with this. I backed off and went downstairs to think about it. I'd removed the whole wig, and the hair underneath was blonde. It wasn't long, either. It was kept short. Maybe that was so it could fit under the wig better? Why is her hair blonde? Whose hair? What? I jumped back in surprise as G came out of nowhere. She'd arrived at the I don't know if I like this. She'd arrived at the station while I'd been upstairs, and she surprised me by coming out from the little dark hallway with a gate. Jasmine's hair is blonde. I don't know why. It's not supposed to be blonde. Oh, sorry. I was insensitive. Are you okay? Yeah, I'll be fine. She didn't sound fine at all. Something about her felt incredibly strange, and the fact that she's here, it's like, I'm freaking out. She wasn't looking at me while talking. Instead, she was looking around the station. It's a pretty spacious place here, huh? Maybe it is. So, what did you do with your twin sister? Did you bring her somewhere? Kinda. Something was definitely wrong with G now. As she paced around a little, I pondered on what I should do. The small lapse of attention would prove to be a mistake. As soon as I showed any signs of detachment, G shoved me backwards. What? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, sis. I did it. Just for you. Now, I can be with you. I heard those words as my world fell upside down. I fell onto the space between the stations. Your sisters do... That was fun. As soon as I spoke, I knew it was over. I landed right under the tracks, and a strong electric current instantly killed me among waves of pain. And then, darkness greeted me like an old friend. Oh, interesting. How was that a blue lock? I guess because we find out that her hair is blonde? Okay. I was pretty convinced that we had made the good choice last time, but... Alright, yeah, Gears of Fate, Endless Circle, we know. Whee! Alright, well, let's go back to, the confrontation with Jasmine, then. And then you're freaking me out, twin. I don't even like looking at ya. Okay, so let's go back to here, and, this time we'll protect E, I guess. Okay, so, boop, boop, boop. Alright, well, we've done all this. Let's see, is there a way to do this just by doing this? Yeah, okay. Alright. So, she freaks out, and then she's gonna try to get E. This time, it's best to save E. Not forget about her and leave her. In the moment, I remember Jasmine's eyes. They were crazy. They were completely out of focus. I understood that there was no reasoning with her, but she didn't stab G earlier when she shoved the girl aside. Perhaps then that G would be safe with her, paradoxically. I didn't know what to do, so I did the most natural thing. I reached over for E. As soon as my hand wrapped around her wrist, I yanked her out of the way. Huh? What? What's going on? She quickly fell against me. I gritted my teeth upon feeling the added weight. A small clicking noise echoed when our collars came into contact. I almost lost my footing, but I remained upright. At that moment, I figured that she wasn't any threat. She was innocent, and I could trust her. My first priority was to help her, to bring her to a safe location. I saw that she also understood the fact that I was no threat despite shoving her, and she could trust me. Meanwhile, Jasmine was considering the situation now that I'd added myself to the equation. I had to figure something out to destabilize her further. Yeah, it is interesting that it's not like she's just attacking anyone, right? Or at least not immediately here. Quickly, I took the first thing I could reach. It was the bag A gave me. It contained all the pen. Oh, so we do have these at this point. I think I had said something last time about us not having these. I guess we got it a little bit earlier than I remembered. Surely they could come in handy now. I unzipped it and I backed off with E. Don't come closer. Perhaps this was ridiculous. Still, I threw the pens, one by one. When I came upon the E pen, I decided to leave it in the bag. What? Save for the S pen. Couldn't throw those, just in case. But I was almost out of ammo. There's no way in this situation that you're throwing these pens that you have the time to, like, look at, like, oh, well, you know what? I should keep E and I should keep S. The rest of these, That wasn't enough to deter Jasmine. I was almost at the staircase. If I could just throw one more thing at her. Right, the bag itself. I plucked the last two pens out, flung those, then lobbed the bag at her face, which made her hesitate. That was enough. I sprinted out of the room with E in tow. I ran for it. We almost tripped down the stairs in our hurry. In that moment, I had a passing thought for the leftover twin. That's a rude way of referring to her. But as I figured out earlier, maybe she would be fine. I just had to hope that was the case, just as I was hoping for the train to arrive quickly. If Jasmine got her bearings back and barreled down the stairs, there would be nothing stopping her from... It was quiet, so I exhaled a breath I didn't know I still held. She wasn't coming down. Perhaps G was... I shook my head. I knew I shouldn't have thought about it. I knew that I might have left the twin to die, but I had no choice. Hey, for all we know, G's gonna kill Jasmine. I clenched my teeth when I realized that choice still perhaps condemned one of them. The train arrived. As soon as the doors opened, we boarded it. Okay, but what's the plan now, Simon? As soon as we entered, the train departed. We were going towards the north side. Hadn't picked which staircase I'd went down to because I didn't have the state of mind to think about it. Perhaps I should have thought about it more. Where are we going? What was that event? Unfortunately, I had no means to communicate with her, so I had to think of something else. I tapped under her hand as if to comfort her. Ah, well, whatever it wasn't good, huh? But at least we're good now. I don't know if you're writing something, so this is what I said we should have done before! Yes, exactly. Set up exactly this kind of system. So poke my hand once if yes, and twice if no. I poked her hand twice. Oh, did you run out of paper? I poked her hand twice. That was technically true. It was just in the bag. Something else must be preventing you from writing. Did you lose the pens, too? I poked her hand once. At least I could answer simple questions. Ah, that's really bad. Well, at least inform me what happened like this. Is everyone okay? No. I poked her hand twice. They definitely weren't okay. Did people die? I hesitated. To which point did I really need to tell her the truth? I mean, it's kind of cruel to not answer. No answer, huh? So I guess they did. I realized too late that my lack of answer spoke for itself. I brushed the back of my head awkwardly as the train came to a stop. I looked around the station, but there was no one. The doors were open. This was already solved. Just as eagerly, the train closed its doors and ventured off again. I don't know what else to ask, and you can't ask me anything. We can take the rest of the line in silence, then. Is that okay? I answered by poking her hand once, even if I wanted to talk more. It was helping, but it was just like she said. I didn't know how to communicate with her without those pens. Sure, I needed the paper, too, and all of them were gone with the bag. The train crossed the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th station without a hitch. I figured we'd leave at the 5th one. Unfortunately, that station had its doors closed. Were Marco and Ray inside? Since leaving here was definitely one of the worst options, I didn't. Instead, I remained in the train, in silence, with E. I remained like that until we arrived at the next station. I waited a while, but it wouldn't go, so this definitely was a new station. It was perhaps the last one of the line. The announcer called it the theater station. It's not moving anymore. Are we at a new station, then? My priority was to escort E out of here. I poked her hand once, then we stood up together. The idea was, if we entered a new station, the doors would close behind us. Since we had no time limit, we could wait there with the solution, refrain from entering it for several hours if needed, and then we could head back out in relative safety. And then, perhaps, the issue would be solved. These things have a way of working themselves out. I doubted it. Yet, this was the most cowardly plan I could come up with, and it was marvelous. We stepped onto the station. It immediately became apparent this choice was a foolhardy decision on my part because the door was closed. Huh? But Marco and Ray were... Did they split up? Okay, wait. I need to think for a second. Who do we not have accounted for here? We can account for Simon and E. We can account for... Well, we can't really account... Okay, we can account for Agnos and H, because they're dead. We can't account for G and Jasmine, technically. Though I don't know how they would have gotten here ahead of us. Huh. Unless this is the 9th person? Did they split up and one went here? No, wait. The doors only closed when 2 callers stepped inside, didn't they? So it shouldn't be closed if just one person came here. Wait, one person. I opened my mouth in silent horror at what I just thought about. Why did we never try this? Perhaps I should have checked. I should have tried entering a station alone and see if it closed up. If it didn't, then maybe no puzzle needed to be solved that way. If we traversed them one by one, then the doors would never lock up. Or maybe that was just a trap by Smiley. Whatever the case was, I couldn't test it now. The door was closed. There was no one but me and E. The train had gone already. No other came by. I looked at the other side of the station. The door was closed too. And the space between the station was, as I mentioned long ago, far too dangerous to cross. That was a last-ditch effort and nothing else. You've been silent for a while. Is everything fine? First, I had to comfort E. I lied by poking your hand one time. We're all good in the hood over here, E. Just taking a break then, huh? Come poke my hand when you're good to go. She smiled. That was a smile that needed protecting. I thought I could do it. It was my task now. Yeah, we're just always in the like big brother mode with E here. First order of business, check out the door. Or I could check everything else first too. Perhaps something or another would be a way out. Alright, well, I mean, first I guess it's just... Yes, this is the usual stuff for the station here. Let's check it out. My steps were blocked after only a few in this encroaching darkness. The The reason was simple. There was a big gate. Unless I could cut myself into pieces, I wouldn't make it through there. That's gotta be my last resort. I'm sorry. I couldn't have done that if I had a knife, but I could have done that if I had a knife, but I wouldn't be alive anymore, which would be counterproductive to the goal. Even if someone picked up the little cubes that made me we are spending way too long considering this not hypothetical. To put them back together, I wouldn't be fine on the other side. That side wouldn't stop me, because I can't read. Is that the Arthur meme? Well, no, I could read, but there was no one around who could enforce this sign. Still, the sign itself would be of no use to me. No secret passages behind this television screen. It was as flat as my mood, or as flat as the Earth, if I believed the Earth was flat, which I didn't. Or it was as flat as a bratty anime girl. Okay, interesting. Perhaps it even was as flat as these comparisons. I tried to find a way to open one of the plates. They were affixed to the wall with large bolts, but surely there was a way to get them off. I tried with all my might, but there was no way they were opening up. If Ray couldn't have done it, then I sure as hell didn't stand a chance. That big beast of a boy. The door was closed. I tried peeking through the window. Inside was a bunch of rubble. What was that all about? Is Agnos somehow? No, because Agnos is... Well, I guess he could have done it earlier. Blown up a room or something. I tried and I tried, but I couldn't open it. There was no handle. There was nothing I could do to get it open. Even the window and the door was useless. As thick as the door, it didn't break even when I threw my strongest punch. This is my most powerful move. I had to accept it. We were trapped here. I decided against informing E for now. Instead, I waited. Maybe some help would come. That was what I thought. Against the wall, I slid to the ground and sat, waiting. 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 So, E, got any fun stories or jokes you wanna... But help did not come. Nothing happened. Felt like an eternity passed us by as we waited for the help that never came. I stood up, and I decided it was time for the last-ditch effort. If I could reach the other side of the platform, another train would arrive and take us away. That was why I prepared myself for it. I backed up, looked at E, still serene, waiting for help as well, and I moved forward, confident in my take. I wouldn't get to make that first step in the dangerous abyss between the stations, however. As soon as I made up my mind, darkness greeted me. Did I pass out? Did the lights simply turn off? No. It was stranger than that. It was as if I was floating in darkness. I couldn't feel my body. There was only darkness. Weird. The abyss? Huh. Well, you know, the end is reached, but the story's not over, because the gears of fate continues to turn, becoming the truest embodiment of an endless circle. I don't know if you need that. Alright, well, that was a weird... I thought one of those two would give us something a little more than that, but... Alright, get me out of here. So where are we going to now, E? Let's see. What is... Oh, are these the rooms themselves? Yeah, okay. What are these percentages? I'm so curious. No, I didn't want to go to main menu, dang it. Forgot how this works. Okay, so technically the next time we're gonna make a choice is back here. We're almost back to the very beginning bit here, which is interesting because we got a lot more to go, so there must be a lot more down here. Alright, so with the door unlocked, the prisoners head up to the floor above where they realize the entire place has changed. So they find the lounge, they have a drink, while H reminisces about a terrorist event. Simon grows increasingly paranoid over the paper Ray has found. I don't remember this. Ray finding a paper. Huh. Okay, but I want to be clear about this. This is after we do the bit with Marco. Okay, and yeah, and then we find the lounge. Yeah, okay, I remember this then. Alright, let's get into it. Alright. Had the option to talk to some people. Who are we gonna talk to this time? Let's talk with Ray. We haven't talked to Ray in a while. Against my better judgment, I decided to approach Ray. He didn't look very happy about that. So, what do you make of this? Of what? This whole thing. You know, being trapped in here and honestly couldn't give a shit if I didn't have to. I have business to take care of. I have things to do. I don't have time to get stuck in here with a bunch of kids and a grandpa. He took a swig from his flask. I tried understanding the situation from his point of view, but it was rather difficult. We definitely didn't have the same priorities in life. So the earlier I'm out, the better off I'll be. I got all this business to take care of. You know, with the drug dealing. He exposed his flask again, as if proving a point. I frowned slightly. Wait, your business is to drink? What's it matter to you? What if it is about this drink? I was gonna think about it and consider your point of view, but if you're just saying you want to get out of here to drink till you pass out, no thanks then. Hey, stop with the judgmental shit. Look, they unlocked the door, so get a move on. Or don't. He left my vicinity. The more I spoke with him, the more unlikable he became in my head. Together, we all stepped into the lobby beyond the station. Alright. Stop pushing! I like the little beeps and boops there. Don't remember what it is that actually... Okay. Okay, alright. So what specific is the thing here? Okay, I enjoyed my drink and silence on the others. I couldn't help but let what H and Ray said weigh upon my mind. Terrorism, station exploding, would the same thing happen here? Would this place explode too? Was I caught in some kind of international terrorism? This brought me back to the note Ray showed us. Someone who didn't belong, like a terrorist. Okay, yeah. Like Jasmine said, it was easy to it was easy to dismiss it as some kind of scare. Perhaps it was what it was, but I couldn't be sure that I really think that was the case. Okay. Yeah, I think the note's important. Sure. There was a part of me that just couldn't let go of the paper with the mysterious message. Why, in fact, would it be here if it wasn't important? The entire place was far too meticulously built to leave in something random without reason. I couldn't afford to get teamed up with the one that didn't belong. Or perhaps I should have aimed for that. If I was with them, perhaps they could get me out of here, but the situation was more difficult than simply escaping. I had to escape, yes, but with my friends. What I needed was information. I had to talk to somebody. I did have a lot of choices right now. There was the old man behind the counter. He might have been knowledgeable about it. Then there was the twin next to me. I could also talk to the strange girl, E, who might have known more than she appeared to. Disregarded Marco, though, as all people should. He was either very deep in thought, or on a date with his drink, or both. It wouldn't be helpful to always only rely on what my friends thought. That eliminated Jasmine and Marco to begin with, but I figured if I went to talk to G, H would unscrew my head, so I dropped that idea too. Probably only had time to talk with one of them, since I bet they were getting antsy to head out shortly. It would be between the old man, Ray, H, and the strange girl. Huh. I feel like currently the person we know the least about are Ray and H. And I feel like I knew even less about H. So let's talk to H. Any ideas about the person who doesn't belong? Who, me? She looked around as if she was unsure I was talking to her. Perhaps I simply surprised her. Oh, no, I don't know anything about it, but it's weird, isn't it? Why would that, imposter person put themselves in danger like that? Okay, so yeah, and I'd sort of forgotten about this plot point. This could be a little bit what Jasmine is freaking out about. Like, there's still clearly more to it than just Jasmine thinking that somebody is an imposter or whatever. But this could be a part of what drives at that. Huh. Imposter? Among Us? Either she misunderstood the message, or she was interpreting it differently. Which was exactly what I'd wanted to know by asking one of the strangers. I mean, think about it. What if we figured them out? What do they have to gain from it? If you want to manipulate people, isn't it simpler to stay out of the danger entirely? Like, if you just made calls while staying away and masking your voice, that's pretty specific. Just an idle thought, nothing else. And besides, the most suspicious one might just be E. Look at her get up. But maybe that's the point. She pointed with a finger. She's wearing all that, right? So we're meant to think she's the person who doesn't belong. She's blind, she's deaf, she's all of this. She's basically excluded by her mere existence. She's the one who stands out the most, so she's the one we have to suspect. But what if it's the other way around? Suspecting her is just a trap. Yeah, I agree. But this doesn't really answer the question of who it is, then. I guess not. I didn't think we'd answer it yet, though. She shrugged, unconcerned by the problem, even if she gave me some good food for thought. In the end, I didn't figure out exactly what I wanted to know. Just then, I heard a sound nearby. It was something like someone falling down onto the ground? I took a glance around me, and noticed Marco fell off his seat. Are you okay? He definitely wasn't, but this was a formality. Our resident barista ran over to our side of the counter, taking a close look at the boy. Ah, allergy to coconuts, perhaps. This is an anaphylactic reaction. I need to take him to some sort of hospital quickly, or else he's going to suffocate. Quick, someone help me. Ray pushed us out of the way in surprising show of altruism. See, I think that he's got some sort of, like, you know, EMT firefighter thing going on. I don't know. He grabbed the boy and effortlessly, lifted him into his arms. Yeah, to the train then, let's go. Wait, you don't know where you're going. We found this stuff earlier. She took out a somewhat large pile of folded paper she'd carried in her pockets. Unfolding it, she revealed there were maps for the stations. Look, one of them is an infirmary. If you go through there and then stop there. Let's go quickly then, or he's going to die. Whatever, old man. Two of them took off. Jasmine looked at me. Then she panicked, realizing something I'd yet to understand about our predicament. Oh no, we have to head there too. Remember what Smiley said, the train will only stop at a station that hasn't been done yet. They can't make it to the infirmary because the stations on the way aren't occupied or solved. If teams don't disembark at those, A, Ray, and M will be stuck before they can help M. Quickly, we all hurried after them. I had the decency of also taking hold of E's hand to pull her along. Good that you remembered it this time. Eh? Where are we going this quickly? Did something happen? I had no time to explain, and I was the only one who could help her down the stairs. I had to be quick or I'd miss the train. Then we arrived at the little lobby, and from the opening, I could tell the train had just arrived. I felt apologetic to E, but I really couldn't stop if we didn't get in there. Quickly, I ran through the station. Jasmine kept an arm out to try and see if the doors would remain open that way, but I doubted they would. If Smiley installed a death collar on us, then this contraption could have severed our arms without a second thought. Finally, we made it in. I panted, letting go of E, who quickly put her hands on any nearby surface to reorient herself. She made her way to a seat, and after making sure nobody else was there, she dropped onto it. We made it. All in. I noticed the twins were there too, and so was Jasmine. Shortly, the train closed its doors. Finally, we were off again. And we're gonna have to be off again next time. We'll see if we can get in the rooms we need to and save Marco in time from... Didn't we have a whole conversation about how he shouldn't have coconut or something? So did he choose to do this, or somebody trying to poison him through coconut? I don't know. We'll find out next time. Until then, this has been Downstage Gaming. I have been your host, Josh, and I will catch you all next time.